Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Chris here, and today is January 14th, 2022, and in this video we're going to be doing a Talk Tennis special because I recently read a very interesting thread over on talktennis.com about whether or not Bjorn Borg had the best chance of winning the US Open in 1980. And I thought that would make for a really interesting topic, so we're gonna go ahead and make a video about it right now. Now, before we get into this video, I'd like to encourage you guys, if you're new to this channel, to please hit the subscribe button down below. That'll keep you notified of any time we release additional content like this. All right, guys, so without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this topic started. Bjorn Borg was a tennis player from the 1970s and early 1980s. Of course, as you guys know, he turned pro back in 1973, and he would win 11 Grand Slam titles throughout the course of his career. He would also reach the finals of the US Open 4 times in 1976, 78, 80, and 81. Now, he would lose his first 2 Grand Slam finals at the US Open in the 1970s to Jimmy Connors. The first one in 1976, they played on clay. It was a surface known as hard true, which is kind of like a green clay, if you will. It's a little bit different from the clay courts at Roland Garros, let's say. And then in 1978, they would play again. Connors would win that. He would win that match quite easily in that particular occasion, and Borg would then make the finals of the US Open in 1980, where he would lose in 5 sets to McEnroe, and then McEnroe would defeat him yet again in the finals of the 1981 US Open. So probably the biggest reason why most people would think that Borg had his best chance of winning the US Open in 1980 was the fact that he was playing McEnroe in the finals, and of course he had just recently beaten him in the finals of Wimbledon that year. He was also only a set away from winning the US Open, so of course that would have given him quite a good chance as well, because the match went to 5 sets and Borg was able to win the 3rd and 4th set. And Borg was just in unbelievable form in 1980. I mean, let's face it, he had won the French Open earlier that year, and then he defeated McEnroe, of course, in the finals of Wimbledon. So he was really this close to getting a Grand Slam back in 1980, 1981. Now, the reason that I would go with 1976 as being Borg's best chance at the US Open is because the match was played on clay, which was by far Borg's best surface. Let's not forget that he won the French Open 6 times between 1974 and 1981. And he was playing Jimmy Connors in the finals. And I know Connors was a very, very good player. Even on clay, he was still, you know, extremely good. But here's the thing. Borg was probably the greatest clay court player of all time until Nadal came around. And if you were to put Nadal against any player in the finals of any Grand Slam on clay, up until probably just this past year, he would have beaten anyone. So I really do feel that Borg had his best chance probably when the tournament was played on clay. I think it was also played on clay in 1975 and 1977, and I'm not quite sure why he didn't win it in those years either. But in 1976, he was really close to winning that final against Connors. They actually both split the first 2 sets, and then the match went to a tiebreaker where Connors was able to narrowly edge Borg, and then Connors would win the 4th set, and of course the rest is history. So I can see why people would say 1980 was probably his best chance. It does make sense in a lot of regards because Borg was in such good form that year, and also he was able to get that win against McEnroe, so maybe he had a little bit of a mental edge against McEnroe going in, even though John McEnroe was still the defending champion. It was kind of more like on his turf, if you will. But I would probably lean in favor of 1976 at the US Open as being Borg's best chance for winning that particular tournament. I really think that he had everything going for him that year. He also had won Wimbledon that year, so I would probably pick that as being his best chance of winning the US Open. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you at the next one.